Hello, and welcome back to the show! Before we get started, make sure you like, share, and leave a comment at the end of the video. And if you like the show and want more, make sure you check out our Patreon, where you can access content like behind-the-scenes vlogs, previews for up-and-coming projects, gaming sessions, and exclusive bonus episodes. Also, make sure you check out our Etsy shop for merch. We have plenty of shirts, mugs, and even stickers. And lastly, if you want to follow us elsewhere, look for @RyanPotsFunny on all other platforms. Now on with the show. Hello and welcome back to Reydar, the podcast where we have one goal, to become best friends by the end of the episode. Today we have Erica Dawson, aka Lady Erica Dawson on Instagram. How are you doing?
I'm doing as okay as I can be in this hellfire of a world and nation we live in. Yeah.
That'd be how it be.
Yeah.
Real quick, we forgot the box.
Take the box.
The box of friendship.
The box of friendship.
Hell yeah, that's what it looks like. That's where it goes. Oh, we have so many drinks. I don't know if this is a weird question. Oh, then we have to show them. Box of friendship. So this is how we fuel the conversation. But before we actually get into the questions, you are obviously a very multi-talented, multifaceted artist. I've been following you since COVID, from your Instagram skits to your full-on. You did cooking. You've also done some mini television stuff, right?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
You did, what was it called? Laugh After Dark?
Yes.
How was that? That was cool.
Dude, that was so cool. That was an experience. I had no idea what I was signing up for. That's actually, I think at that point I'd been doing stand-up for a year and a half, maybe 2 years. And I was like, I want to get paid for this. I deserve to get paid for this. So that was the first and only time that I went on Craigslist and looked for a stand-up gig. I don't recommend doing that now. Yeah. This was in 2017, I think.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I saw that they were like, yeah, you're going to get $50 and you'll get a really good quality tape. So that was all I was expecting out of it. And then I show up to this little studio, kind of like this place, but more of performance-y, live performance-y. And yeah, I was like, oh shit, there's 3 cameras. This is an actual
a full
production. And they were like, oh yeah, we're gonna try to pitch this to streaming. But I feel like you hear that, you're like, sure, but you're gonna pay me that $50, right? And they did.
$50.
But yeah, it turned into they have a whole series on Amazon, and
it's crazy.
I know, yeah. So that was a really good experience. Yeah.
Hell yeah. No, yeah, I remember seeing a ton of that when I first started. There was a lot of join our comedy group and you'll win between $30 and $500. Mm-hmm. And it was always the $30.
It was always the bare minimum.
The main guy that sold the tickets got the $500.
Exactly. He's like, yeah, we have price differences here. Yeah. But that was a very cool experience. They have I think they have a show that they run in Las Vegas now and do a festival every year.
Yeah. A lot of them moved to Nevada, Texas.
Yeah.
Those areas.
Yeah.
Where it's warmer. I don't get that. It's so hot.
I know. We're in the time where it's we're in it now. You know what I mean? We're in it now for 3 or 4 months. But yeah, I wouldn't do well in Vegas. I would pass out.
Yeah, I better do well here. And we have to blast industrial air conditioning.
I actually really appreciate it. I really appreciate it. So thank you.
Well, so you've done a lot since then. I've seen you host a show, right? A comedy show?
Yes, I host a show called Songs and Sillies.
Right.
Because I do music as well. I do.
Right. You're musical, on Spotify.
Yes, go check it. I do musical comedy, but I also do regular music, kind of indie alt pop vibes. So yeah, I was I have so many musician friends. I have so many comedy friends, in all capacities too. I love stand up, but also I love clown. I love sketch. So
it's a variety show.
It's a variety show. Yeah. It's honestly just a kind of secret way for me to do theater.
I love it. Honestly, I love variety shows. I used to, with my brother, Ron Lynch hosts a variety show.
Yes.
Called At Midnight, or Midnight Tonight. I forget what the name is now. But he used to host it at the Allen Theater and I think it's near Echo Park. I don't 100%
On the east side somewhere.
Yeah. It's moved since then because the Allen Theater unfortunately closed down, which is unfortunate. It's like a condominium now. But yeah, I've been going to variety shows since I was like 19. And it's fun. I definitely prefer variety shows to like variety mics. I just think it's because there's a level of intention with those.
Yeah.
A variety show, it's meant to be a little bit of everything, where like a variety mic is like 8 comedians and then one dude with a guitar.
Yeah.
You don't know what the vibes are. I feel bad for the guitar dude.
I know. It's mics are always a gamble, you know, as you know. Yeah. Yeah.
I've been to some weird ones. I went to one that was at a nursing home once.
A nursing home?
Which is the most... you feel so bad for the audience because they don't want to. They just want to watch Murder, She Wrote. It was during their rec time. That's why. This was their special event.
Who's running it? Like one of the nurses who can't get time off? Or?
I don't want to go into the super detail because I don't want to. But I'll give some detail. It was a dude who was, for therapy reasons, living with his parents who lived at the home.
Oh, okay.
So,
that makes sense.
Which is a great explanation because otherwise it's just a dude that figured out that they would let him steal someone's rec time.
He's like, that's free crazy. Space.
Yeah. But I've seen some weird mics. There's a lot of, there was a lot more before COVID, but there's a lot of like garage mics.
Oh, yeah.
Dudes in their backyards.
Terrifying.
A giant band amp and just like a karaoke mic.
Hilarious.
Well, so we've gone through what you've done. Is there anything coming up that you want to shout out? Anything you want to get into? What are you working on now? Any new music?
I am working on new music. Yeah,
Nice.
I've been sitting on, honestly, a lot of music for a few years. But I love my music producer. Shout out. He's never going to listen, which is why I can say he's been holding my music hostage. And I'm like, dude, can I just... And here's the deal. I don't pay this guy, okay? He's a friend of mine. I can't afford to pay him. You know what I mean? And Joshua.
Hi, Josh. We love
shout
Josh.
out.
Josh is
And
the best.
I am so grateful. He like fully believes in me. He's like, I got you, girl. I'll make your music for free. However, he literally does this as his job. You know what I mean? So then people are fully paying him like thousands of dollars to make a song. And so I go a little lower on the totem pole. He also has like a 2-year-old daughter who is perfect and an angel. But yeah, I'm like, I'm going to have to figure out some ways because at this point there's music that I haven't released that is from a breakup I had 4 years ago. Oh. I'm like, I would really like to move past this at this point. You know what I mean? Like, let's talk about something else. And I've like written a lot of other stuff. So yes, music is coming. And then actually right now I'm developing just like independently, I'm developing a vertical series because they're pretty bad. They're pretty bad. They're pretty poorly written. I don't know. Have you watched any vertical series?
Not in a minute.
It's fair.
But I was watching them, yeah.
Yeah. A lot of them are very like soap opera-y. It's kind of like a modern day, soap opera.
Yeah. They remind me of those like TikTok ads you get for like the novels that are,
Yes. Like sexy novels, right?
I didn't know she was the boss's sister.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Unironically, I love those.
You do?
No, they're good.
Oh my god!
Every time one comes on, I'm like, oh god, I'm in it.
I mean,
I downloaded an app. I downloaded one of the apps.
The book
my
apps?
gosh,
Oh.
Yeah.
You're like an avid watcher.
They're like
There's
60-second
something about how
novellas.
corny
It's
it
cool.
is, and,
Yeah.
like, they're not 60 seconds. They're long. They have like 70 parts.
Yeah, they can be. It's like a vertical series can be like a minute to 3 minutes. Like 3 minutes is like the max episode, but they just like come out. And also like, yes, I shaded most vertical series. However, I'm like, they're doing really well. So who am I to talk? But I will say, I looked at a lot of the ones that are very popular, and I'm like, there's none that are like comedy. Like there's none that are like funny. And I'm like, there's a market there that's not being grabbed at. So
They're so bad. Like
They
the
really
titles
are.
of them are like Doctor's Boss is My Baby Daddy.
oh my God, what? Doctor's boss, not the doctor, but the boss of the doctor. That's very convoluted.
How to Dump a Hockey Star.
Oh, also very niche.
Yeah, everything's so niche.
specific.
Daddy help, mommy's in prison.
Oh shit. Honestly, I'm like, that's the one I'd fuck with.
Dude,
I would
like,
fuck with that one.
Once I see something and it's like, they do that thing where it's like, this person's actually the owner of the most biggest corporation in the world and is a super rich person acting like a homeless person. Like, once I see stuff like that, and then they're like, "You're just a homeless guy," and I'm like, "Oh, I'm in. I'm all the way in." He's about to get his comeuppance.
I like the old sketches they're based on. Like, it's always like some European dude pretending to be like a sheriff. Like, what is going on here? And then he has like the whole outfit. She's robbing me. No, I wasn't. Okay, I'll get.
They're so cheesy. Like,
they are incredibly.
Yeah, it's almost like softcore bad. Like,
yes,
acting, you know
yes, yeah. It's that cringe.
Yeah, it's so bad.
Yeah, it really
I
is.
just can't look away.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm like, I think I should make something here. And I'm obsessed with TV. I feel like I'm like, if I had a time machine.
I have to wipe my glasses.
Wipe your glasses. If I had a time machine, which this is ridiculous what I'm going to say, but I would go back in time and I would go back to the beginning of COVID, and I would have like been doing my shit on TikTok every day, because I can tell you right now, I saw so many friends like blow the fuck up.
Oh yeah.
You know, and like I'm like, my life would be totally different if I had done that.
And that was obviously like such a coincidence, but I remember like even before 2017, 2018, I saw it as Musically. And a lot of people were still reeling from the end of Vine, which I think ended like 2016.
Something like that.
But 2019, when they changed it to TikTok, I was like, okay, so this is going to be... I was telling people to get, not that I was like a trendsetter. Nobody was listening to me. But I got my TikTok in 2019 because I'm like, it's going to be the next business card, like the next Vine, the next... And then COVID happened and it was.
Yeah.
Which was great.
Yeah.
Well, obviously not,
Not good. Not good.
Pandemic. But I did well.
Hey, I mean, sometimes you're like, I gotta survive in this fucked up little world we live in, Yeah. So I'm trying to get into the trend without compromising my integrity. Being like, ooh, and then I'm gonna have artistic license over this thing.
Hell yeah.
And make like a dark comedy kind of series.
I'm glad. I'm looking forward to it. So be on the lookout for that.
Yeah, be on the lookout. It should be out at probably the end of the summer.
New music.
Yeah.
Follow for your upcoming variety show. Again, at Lady Erica. What's your show called?
It's called Songs and Sillies.
Right, you mentioned that.
Yeah.
My bad. Songs and Sillies.
Oh, and I also run another show called Masculine Straight Men with Joseph Schless.
Yeah.
Do you know Joseph Schless?
I know of him.
Okay.
You know a lot of people's names going to mics and stuff.
Exactly. Shout out to Joseph Schless, one of the funniest people I know, and my best friend. But we run a show together. It's called Masculine Straight Men because it is an all queer and female lineup. Woo! We've been doing it for like over a year. We've been taking it down to San Diego because that's where I'm from, at Mic Drop Comedy Club. And we've sold out every show. Hallelujah. But now in August, on August 9th, I'm pretty sure, we'll be at the Elysian in one of the smaller rooms, in the Skunk Room or the Vault, one of those rooms.
Nice.
Yeah, so we're going to be doing it both in San Diego and LA.
Yeah, I love the Legion. Actually, I believe that's where Ron moved his show. He goes back and forth between the Legion and I think he was doing the Hyperion. I don't know if they're still up.
I think at the Lyric, yeah. But I think maybe just at Elysian now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So many different weird sounding Dynasty typewriter. They all have weird names.
I know.
I love them though.
But I'm like, those are the best three for sure. Like, those are my favorite spaces to go to. More the Elysian and Dynasty to see people.
And then we'll cut this out just because I have ADHD. What was your friend's name again?
Joseph Schless.
Joseph Slash. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Joseph seems like a nice guy, but we're going to see if we can't replace him. We're going to get started. We're starting at the surface level, ice breaking. So we're going to get into the first question of the show. Let me pick from the middle. That way I'm not getting the same question. First question is, what is your favorite time of year?
Oh, the springtime. Definitely the spring.
Like, especially in California. Well, we'll start with you. Why do you like springtime?
It is the time that LA is the most beautiful. Like, everything is blooming and blossoming. Things are so green. Like, the earth is really lush. And I love nature. I feel like it's like the air is the cleanest. I'm not a scientist. I don't know. But like, I'm just like the rains and everything.
Right.
Like, it's the time of year when I see like the less smog and like schmut in the air.
You actually see the mountains?
Yes, yeah, and there's like still snow on them, and it's not like horrifically hot. It's like very pleasant. And I've noticed that every year in like March, I'm in such a good mood. I'm like so happy. I feel like I'm really vibing with the earth and just like with my own self, you know?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I like California's rain season, but I like the start of the rain season better. You know, it's very beautiful in spring from March, but I learned this as an adult. The like grass and foliage that's indigenous to California releases a not a toxin, but like if plants had pheromones, I don't know what they're called. When it rains, and it's supposed to stimulate the soil and stimulate the growth, but it smells like sulfur.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So early in the morning, instead of that like morning dew scent, it's just like wet cement and hot garbage.
Yeah.
It's awful. That doesn't happen in the winter when it rains the most. So that's why I prefer the winter.
Okay.
I also just like when it gets super cold because a ring forms in the sky, and that's cool.
Yeah.
And I don't know what that's called.
Phantom ring.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just made that up. I like being cozy and stuff in the winter. I get so like once the clocks go forward
in spring forward.
Yes. Yeah. Clocks back in the winter. It really fucks with my like when it gets dark earlier, I'm like, I'm not a social person anymore. Like I feel like I get seasonally depressed.
Right.
Like I already like struggle with depression, but I'm like that time of year is famously when I've been the most depressed.
They're called moon rings or winter halos.
Hell yeah.
A 22-degree.
They look so cool. And it's not even like so what I think is cool about it is it's not a literal, I mean it is a literal ring, but it technically doesn't exist. What's happening is for an area like California that doesn't really get snow unless it's like high in the mountains, there's still ice in the air. It's like frozen. So what you're actually seeing is, from your perspective, the light fragment of the moon filtering through the ice, and it forms like a crown. It's pretty cool.
Wow. I like that. Very ethereal.
Mm-hmm. Ice
nice.
crystal suspended high in the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Although it has snowed the last couple of California. It's a little scary, to be honest.
Yeah.
2023, it like full on snowed in San Bernardino. It's crazy.
I remember that. Yeah. Global warming is real. It's happening.
Now it's flooding in Texas. Yikes.
Oh my God, dude. It's dark. Things are dark. Dark age is the squeakquel. That's what I'm calling this year.
Which is like so unnecessary because the world was already. Did you know in Australia there's fire tornadoes?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Well, we had. Do you know
we
that was
started having
happening?
fire tornadoes.
Yes, in the January fires, there were literal fire tornadoes.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
it's bonkers.
It's bananas. It's a bummer. Wait, okay. The question you asked me, you answered it actually. Never mind. Yeah.
Yeah, I like the winter. I've also just like always had an affinity for like the cold. I have to be more careful now because I'm an adult and my skin's sensitive and I have diabetes, so I can get like pneumonia really easily. I haven't yet, but it's a possibility.
Yeah.
So I have to be careful now. But it used to be like my favorite time. Probably how I got there in the first place. I would like run out in the rain without a jacket.
Oh my God! Quick, fast track to sick.
It's fun.
You need to be wearing. Are you good about wearing like hats and beanies? Yeah, because it's like top of the head. Back of back is where most heat releases.
Yeah, it gets you.
Yeah, just the bundles.
Sorry. I got dizzy. Yeah.
Are you from California?
So I was born in Texas, but I was raised. I'm from California.
Okay, cool.
We lived there. It's my ADHD is like, well, technically.
No, yeah,
I was born in El Paso, and we lived there for almost 3.5 years, and then we moved to California when my mom was pregnant with my little brother, and he was born in California. So.
Okay, so your memories are like all California.
Yeah, I have like almost no memories from Texas.
Yeah, because like memories, right? Memories are like really forming when you're 4. To me, right? Yeah, I'm like anything below 4, I don't remember that.
I will say I have like a weird, vivid memory of like when I became self-aware.
Really?
That's creepy. Yeah, I don't know if there's some people that talk about it. It was a thing of just like I acknowledged that I was beyond like the toddler phase. Like, okay, I'm in control of my hands. I can do things. I can walk on my own. I had a thought where I was like, I don't remember when this started, but now I guess this is how it is.
Whoa.
It's crazy.
I have that too. I remember being in my grandma's bathroom and being like, what the? And being like, this is crazy. These are my hands.
Oh my God.
I think it's a funny comparison. Like when you're a toddler, you like look at your foot and you're like, look at this stupid looking thing.
Dude, it's so funny.
And then you realize it's a part of you.
Yeah. It's so funny. Like, there's like a like joke, I guess, with like people who do acid. And I was on Instagram. There's like a bunch of screenshots from the like LSD Reddit, and it's just people's hands, just looking at like a picture of their hand, and they're just being like, "What the hell? Like, this is what the?" It's so funny, or just like a light switch or something.
Yeah.
Someone just being like, "This is insane."
Honestly, sometimes completely sober, I do that now. I'm like, that's what my hands look like. I'm like, whoa, I am aging. I really see it in my hands.
That's a trippy one.
That is. I'm like, oh my God, I have my mother's hands.
Yeah, that's something I've noticed. Well, there's some like reason for that. I think for a lot of young people, you don't lose all of your baby fat, and a lot of it is in your like hands and digits, and that goes away at like around 25, between 25 and 30. Mm-hmm. So you see a lot of people just get like old hands. Mm-hmm. It's creepy.
I don't remember becoming self-aware ever as a kid, but I do remember the time that I lost the baby fat in my face. Mm. Yeah. And like when I was like 21, I like went to Scotland, studied abroad, and came back and everyone was like, it looks like you lost weight. I was like, I don't think so. But then I look at my passport photo from right before I left, and I look like, I could only describe it as Dopey the dwarf, the small person. I'm talking about Snow White. He's literally fictional.
Like
don't cancel me. Yeah, but like really round, fat cheeks. Yeah, I look like Dopey. And then when I came back, I had a woman's face.
I kind of had like the reverse effect. I was actually a very skinny kid until like 4th, 5th grade.
Okay, so...
And then you got Dopey.
I got doughy. No, I was trying to think about fun.
That's good, actually.
Yeah, you look at me between 2 and 7, and I was a precocious little scamp, I'd say. You know, and then you get older, and I have autism. I don't like doing physical activities around people, so I hide a lot and I snack a lot. I got good at hiding snacks. Dude, me and my little brother were the best at hiding snacks. Like, you hear on the internet about those kids that, like, those parents, they find, like, a hole in their wall, and apparently it's full of Cheetos.
Yeah.
That's me and my brother, but we were good at it. They never found them.
That's good that you didn't have, like, a narc.
No, I don't know. There's something about, like... like toddlers' brains, especially if they have autism or ADHD, where like transactional things become very stimulating. Uh-huh. Like I like the idea of putting dollars in vending machines.
Absolutely.
So I would take dollars from my parents and I would put them in this slot that I found in a wall. It turned out to be the vent for the air conditioner. We opened it. There was like a couple $100.
Oh my God! Yeah. You made yourself a little cool piggy bank.
I had no idea about the difference in denomination. I just saw square paper, so I took square paper, but it was a lot of 20s and 5s.
Oh my God! Rolling deep.
Yeah. I was a weird kid. I had a thing for peanut butter.
Yes.
And I didn't. So one thing about my childhood was I didn't talk till I was 4, so I was a very quiet kid.
Oh shit.
And as I said, I was a very small child, so it was like if you weren't watching me, you had no idea where I was. They didn't even know I could walk around like a toddler to 3 years old. I had this habit of I couldn't sleep at night because I've had insomnia since I was a baby. Oh. So I'd sneak into the fridge and get the peanut butter, which was like on the middle shelf. I figured out how to drag a chair and climb, Rugrat style, you know?
Yes.
And they thought that like raccoons were getting in the house because there's these claw marks in the peanut butter, but it was just my small, skinny fingers.
I did, actually, my sister and I did something so similar. We would, the peanut butter was like in the cabinet, but like we had to like boost one of us onto the counter and then grab it. And then we had this game where we would take the peanut butter and go into our little playhouse and pretend we were bears.
That's funny.
And that got into the food and we'd be like, but we were like really into like taking snacks. And like there was one time where my mom had made fresh baked cookies, ding, ding, ding. And I was like, Britt, let's go. Let's steal a cookie, even though mom told us we can't. And I stole a whole one. My sister takes a bite and leaves the rest of the cookie. I'm like, I cannot be taking you with me on like a bank robbery or anything. Like, you're dead weight, dude. Like, it's good to learn that early,
Yeah.
But
True.
yeah, I there's something so fun about like taking the food and like snacking.
Something about sneaking. It's
And
fun.
peanut butter's one of the best things I've ever tasted in my life. Right? Are you still a peanut butter fan?
I love peanut butter.
Something about, maybe it's because I'm older, maybe it's because I got COVID once and it changed my taste buds, but peanut butter didn't taste the same to me anymore. It changed around like 26.
Was it is this when you had COVID? Or like post-COVID?
It was after, but it was also like during that transition. Like that's a thing with people between 25 and 30, where like their body is physically adapting to like new things. And
Yeah.
one of the things is like your taste buds kind of change.
Yeah, because isn't it every 7 years, like all of
Yeah.
your cells change? That's why when you were saying like, oh yeah, like in 4th grade, like is when I started to gain weight. I'm like, well, you're around 9, like your body completely changed in that time
I think
frame.
there's a thing with taste buds about it, like they get worse your entire life.
Yeah.
And what is
Like
worse to mean?
What's the thing of like,
they're very sensitive when you're a baby,
Okay.
and then just like as you get older, they're like your ears.
They
like,
dull.
yeah, but that's also
okay.
why like your body adapts to, like because they're so sensitive, they react more positively to higher stimulating flavors like
Super
sweet,
spicy,
sweet,
very
salty,
sugary.
cheesy. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then as you get older and that's also like why kids don't like bitter, salty things when they're younger, because it's overstimulating, and then that changes and you become older and those things are more manageable and easier, And so something about that. It also could be a lot of companies obviously like change how peanut butter tastes.
Right.
Yeah, add a shit ton of sugar.
But yeah, it tastes so processed now and so weird.
You know-
I enjoy peanut butter. I don't crave it like I used to when I was a kid.
Oh,
Your
damn.
taste buds do dwindle as you age.
Yeah.
Damn. That makes sense. You burn your tongue so many times,
It's kind of funny to me because like people who are older always like criticize children about them like not having good taste in food or being like cultured or something, and it's like you have worse taste, like you can't even taste the food as well, you know what I mean? So someone who's young that like tries something that's like weird or whatever, and they're like, oh, this is gross, like they have very sensitive taste buds, like
Yeah.
we're able to eat things because we're older that are like disgusting, kind of, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. And it's like
Brussels sprouts.
Yeah, I hate Brussels sprouts.
I actually like
like
them.
I only like them when they're with something. If Brussels sprouts cooked by themselves are not good.
I'm getting
time
better
Someone's
at
like,
them.
"Oh, you have to try these Brussels sprouts." It's always like bacon or like candy.
Yeah, there's like a bunch of stuff
most
to
of
cover
them
the
like
taste.
the leafy, the leafy outside is kind of what gets it from. But I like the core of it because they're very similar to broccoli in that broccoli actually used to look similar to Brussels sprouts, and then over time became the little bristly thing that they. But like when you first pick them, I think they still have the foliage around the sort of ball of leaves.
Oh.
That gets plucked away and washed and cleaned, and then you're sold the finished product. There's so many vegetables and fruits that like don't look the way they do when they come out of the ground. It's crazy.
That's true.
I'm a huge vegetable nerd. Josh doesn't like it because I always bring up that vegetables don't exist.
I love vegetables, and I
Maybe a vegetable nerd.
think they do
They're
exist.
a culinary term, but technically in botany, vegetables aren't a thing.
How so?
Like tomatoes are fruit, carrots are roots, pumpkin is a gourd.
Oh, I see what you mean.
I found out that watermelon a lot of people say watermelon are berries, but actually they're technically a cucumber.
I see that. Like the outside of it
Yeah.
is so cucumbrous.
They have their own because cucumbers are close to squash, but they're not the same as squash. They're categorized as cucumber something Latin. But
Cucumber 2000. 3000.
That's pretty funny.
Cucumber 3000.
So fresh and so clean. It's a salad. I love cucumber though.
I love cucumber, and that's why I have a weird relationship to zucchini, because I'm like, dude, why are you
so-
making this cucumber warm? Like,
Why does this pickle taste like squash?
yeah, it's
Gross.
I need a zucchini like grilled and like charred, like Charizard vibes. Like I need that aflame.
Or stewed. They get very soft, so they're a lot easier to eat.
Yeah, and I
Stewed.
get weird with the mush because
Yeah,
it's the
I can't-
water of it all.
Yeah.
And it's like you need to if you don't know how to cook a zucchini, you need to cut it up. You need to sprinkle salt all over that shit. wait 5 to 10 minutes, come back. Oh, there's so much moisture on top. And then you pat it down, you flip them over, you do the same thing, you release, do this with eggplant, zucchini, like any type of thing like that. You can release the moisture and then you can get like a nice char on it and it won't be rubbery. Like you get that nice
that's
texture.
a thing that a lot of people don't realize when they're like roasting vegetables is you have to do that first. Otherwise the mush like softens it rather than, and then like they're boiling from the inside out.
My head hurts.
There's a tea for that.
I'm also sick.
There's a tea for that.
And I can't sleep.
Aw. Well, there's a tea for that.
Where are you finding all these teas?
Legacy Teas and Spices, of course.
What if I just want black tea?
They have that.
What if I get tired of regular tea?
Well, you're in luck. Legacy has a wide array of blended teas and flavors, including favorites like Peach Lavender Rose, Passion Fruit Hibiscus, and the all-time bestseller, Vanilla Lemongrass. Here, see for yourself.
Wow, I can't wait to try it.
Make sure to go to legacyteasandspices.com and use coupon code RYAN20 for 20% off. Well, that sounds like it's about time to get into the next stage.
I was going to say.
We're going to upgrade to slow and steady yellow. We're a little bit deeper in the water. Oh,
Come on, yellow.
There we go. I'll add pegs eventually.
Yeah, peg it.
I'll get like, pipe
Cleaner?
But the crafty ones, and I'll just put them like in the centers as
little
like,
sneaky
little
duties. Honestly, that'd be cute.
Yeah, because I don't want to work with wood anymore. I had to carve all of this by hand and whittle it. It took me 3 days to carve the pieces and sand them. I cut myself a bunch.
I feel like you overcomplicated that big time.
Yeah, it seems like it.
You'd think. I could not find the shapes that I wanted for the life of me.
Really?
Except the arrow. There's a lot of arrows at crafting shops. I don't know why.
Well, you did it. It looks like a perfect circle. I could never have whittled something so clean.
Yeah. Well, the bigger one was easier. This middle one is a little wonky, but I like it. It adds to the vibes. Anyway, I gotta be on myself. Otherwise, I have ADHD. I'll go.
I'm the same way. So I need someone to keep us on track. It's not gonna be me. It's not gonna be me.
All right. Next question. What is a luxury you don't mind splurging on? Another way is like, how do you choose to treat yourself?
I choose to treat myself with food.
Nice.
Like food, 100%. Food, and then when I'm like can save up for traveling. Traveling is like my favorite thing because then food. You know what I mean? But yeah, food is like my greatest love, honestly. Right. I love cooking. I come from a family that is like so food oriented. This is shocking, but I am actually Mexican. So I come from like an abuela who taught me amazing things, and just like literally the best tasting food I've ever had was from my Nana. And then my other grandma, Eastern European, amazing cook. Like just food was how love was shown, and like how we would gather as a family, and still is. And it's a big love language for me. And also I find it very meditative and creative. But I love to go out, and like sushi is something I want to spend money on, and you should, because you could become riddled with parasites like I currently am, but that's a different podcast completely. Yeah, it's crazy. Take care of yourself.
Are you the kind of person that like splurges at like farmers markets?
Yes. The reason why I say it like that is because I have EBT. So I also, hot tip, if you have EBT, you can go to most farmers markets and they have a stand where you just like, you swipe your card and they give you like little wooden tokens. I'm like, okay, we get it. I'm poor. You give me fake money. I understand. Just fucking Christ.
That's so funny to me.
They're like, you have EBT, so you need to shame yourself at this farm stand to let everyone know that you're poor and you could barely afford this. But you get like double the amount, I think, when you have EBT. So I love going to the farmer's market. And like also you can free brunch that shit. A lot of samples.
Hell yeah.
A lot of samples. Yeah.
Yeah, I used to be really into going to the farmer's market. It's not even like, I like to cook, but I also have this thing where I like trying new weird things. So I didn't even, it's a thing of like, I cook to eat. You know what I mean? Like I don't.
You eat to live. You don't live to eat.
Yeah, which
Okay.
a lot of people find ironic, and I get it because I'm fat, but that's from lack of exercise. It's different. What did you see me today? A sandwich. That's it.
Yeah,
That's
but
it?
A lack of exercise. It's not because of a lack of exercise. You can not exercise and not gain weight. You won't just gain weight.
But every body is different.
Yeah.
You know? And also, like, there could
Also,
be
like,
thyroid
how do
issues. There
either
could
of
be.
us know?
It's about calorie intake.
Yeah.
There's a lot of factors.
But it's also like
Sure,
calorie
like a
intake.
thyroid problem.
There's the thing about
Yeah.
false calories, obviously, and I do, you know, as a kid, I did snack a lot. But it was also a thing of like calories. As long as you're staying away from empty calories aren't a problem if you're exercising. That's the thing I just didn't do. You know, like you eat steak, you go for a walk after. I don't do that.
Nah, bro. If you eat too many calories, it doesn't matter. You have to over exercise.
It doesn't matter.
All right.
I'm fat either way.
Me too.
We're here.
Yeah.
And
I'm
when
not
you-
saying but I'm saying like
It would be scary.
My
if you
original
just,
point-
Like, lay down and you would just gain weight. Just
I
from-
like.
that would be terrifying.
That would be a
Yeah.
bummer.
My original point, though, is like I like learning to cook. The only reason I like learning new things to cook is to do it with 4 other people. Like I like barbecuing. I like
I get that.
cooking family dinner.
Okay.
If it's just for myself, I know how to cook food well, and I do think that but it's like, you know, half the time I'm eating fish or steak, just something that I know how to sear really easily, and then not have to do a lot to be busy with it.
And
Yeah.
I'm always lazier for myself
Yeah.
than if I'm cooking for someone else.
For sure.
But I love, you know, if I'm in charge of a barbecue, I'm going all out. I make Baja tacos, and I make, you know, I'm really good. I actually am like very good at cooking steak. It's fun. Different kinds of steak.
I love steak. I love it.
Why were we bringing that up? Oh,
I talk
yeah.
about
'Cause
food
so
splurging.
the reason I was bringing that up is because when I went to farmers markets, I wouldn't get the stuff you're supposed to get, you know, like carrots and meat. I'd get like weird jalapeno jelly,
Yes.
you know, the weird stuff.
And like the cool pickle stand. I think
Yeah.
that's the fun of the farmer's market is I can like find new things that like I wouldn't normally get at the store, and it like expands my food knowledge. And
Yeah.
I am not a picky eater. Like kind of going back to what we were talking about, like being kids and like oversensitive taste buds, for sure that's real. I ate everything as a kid. Like my parents were like, this girl is like, I was like eating shrimp. I was eating like anything my parents had. I was like, can I try what you have? What you're eating? Like my PB&J is boring, dude. Like,
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
I would say that's always like the funniest thing about having ADHD and autism, because ADHD, I'm interested in anything I see for the first time, but then my autism is like, but that was gross. I don't ever want to touch anything similar to that ever again.
oh my gosh.
You know what I mean? Like I'd try zucchini for the first time and then I wouldn't eat it again, you know, for 15 years.
What a paradox.
Yeah. But it's fun. I found a lot of weird flavors. Like I have a lot of weird snack habits.
Like what?
I put Hot Cheetos in the freezer before I eat them.
Whoa.
I think chips are good cold. Well,
That's
Cheetos
so-
are good cold.
Does it mess with their crunchiness?
I think that they're crunchier. You leave them in the bag. You don't want the moisture to get in there.
Yeah.
But and then not even for a long time. Like don't freeze your Cheetos just to get cold faster. You can keep them in the fridge if you want.
Do you do it for like 15 minutes and then take them out?
Yeah, like very short.
Interesting.
But it's fun. It's a good crunch.
It reminds me of like, you know when you like take food to the beach and you put like chips in the cooler with everything? Have you ever done
Yes,
that?
yes.
It's kind of like that. Like
It's
when
nice.
Yeah.
they're cold.
And I feel
Something
like
about it. It's
the hot
pleasant.
Cheeto like texture and the density would work really well in the freezer. I'm actually gonna take that idea from you. I really love that idea.
Yeah, it's
I fucking
fun.
love hot Cheetos.
I got weirder ones. It gets weird. Like I'd have these days where like I forgot what I called them. I called them something dumb. I'd have like munchie meals.
Yeah.
Like
Jack in the Box.
no, just like whatever weird idea popped in my head. Like I used to do this thing where I would take the cold Cheeto and wrap it with string cheese
Oh,
and make like weird ass hors d'oeuvres.
that's delicious.
Yeah.
That's
Fun.
really good. Hot Cheetos and like a spicy dill pickle in one bite.
Oh, yeah.
So good. Flavor bomb.
I was just having beef jerky, Cheeto fries, hot Cheeto fries, and a pickle.
Oh, that's a
It
great.
tastes like a sandwich.
Yeah,
great.
yeah, it really does. It's so freaking good.
There's this Mexican salad I came across. This lady made it for me once that I've never encountered anywhere else before, but supposedly like that's where the recipe comes from. It's similar to macaroni salad, but it's a different kind of pasta, and it's like pickles and relish.
Oh my God.
Mixed in, and I don't know what it is. It's good. It tastes like a ham sandwich without bread.
Oh my God.
It's interesting.
That sounds so good.
Dude, the versatility of pickles is crazy. I think people use them wrong. Just munching a pickle, I mean, it's fun. It's good. I was a pickle guy. But there's so many other things. The one thing I haven't been able to figure out, I don't know how I did it when I was a kid. It's like such a perfect, but it's so impossible to do, is pickle with grilled cheese.
Oh, it's impossible because it gets warm?
Yeah, because the warm pickle withers, or it cools the cheese, and then it's not like stretchy or as like savory.
The moisture kind of fucks
It's so
with
hard.
it all.
You can't like put the pickle on the sandwich. You have to take a bite of the sandwich, then bite the pickle.
I was gonna say.
like pickle etiquette with sandwiches.
Yeah.
You have like a pickle on the side, and you eat your pickle while you're
Yeah.
Yeah. You could have like a stack of like dill pickled chips on your plate and then like put it on the bite you're about to take.
True.
You know, like that's a way. But I agree. I'm like warm pickles. I do like a fried pickle. Actually, I think it's great with ranch. Delicious. But there is no better pickle than like a cold ass, crispy, crunchy, salty dill. Like dill or like spicy dill. I don't fuck with sweet pickles. Do you fuck with sweet pickles?
You're talking about like
Bread and butter?
chips? Yeah,
I can't do bread and butter.
Thank you.
Can't do relish.
It's just like fucking weird.
Like on a hot dog or something?
I'm okay with relish.
Yeah.
They're not like as sweet, but you know what? Oh my God. Let me tell you this fucking snack and this specific pickle. This will blow your mind. There is this pickle. I worked at a wine and cheese shop for many years, which was fucking incredible. Made sandwiches, cheese boards, and just like, oh my God, the snacks, like prosciutto. But we sold these specialty pickles called Tony Paco's Pickles Sweet Hots. And I was already like, sweet in the name, like, I don't know. And it's a mixture of pickles and there's also peppers in them. So it is unlike any pickle I've ever tasted, where there's like a slight sweetness, but there's also like a slight spiciness, but it's like its own flavor, and it's so good. And it's the only pickle you can use to make a peanut butter pickle sandwich.
Oh.
Ryan, it's like the best. Yes, those.
We'll put a thing.
You can get them on Amazon. They come out of like Ohio or something, but holy shit. Well, my favorite like munchie meal, like high guy, but even like you don't have to be high to enjoy this. And it's always crunchy peanut butter for me. Crunchy peanut butter, Tony Paco's pickles, bacon, and hot pepper jelly. It is like the craziest. Please don't steal this from me. I created it, you know. But it is. I have thought about. I'm like, maybe I just quit everything and just make those sandwiches, because I'm like, that shit would go viral on TikTok.
Yeah, and there's a lot of spots. So I would say like usually they're like cafe vibes, but there's like a lot of weird combinations. Like that's the theme. Like actually, I think there was a place called something Munchin. My brother worked there. They only sold grilled cheese and cereal.
That's interesting.
And it was like different kinds of grilled cheeses, different
Munch
kinds
and
of cereals.
Crunch?
Munch and Crunch. Yeah, my brother used to work there.
That's so cute.
And
Is that just a guess? Because
that was just a guess, because cereal is crunchy.
it might be. They also made their own Rice Krispies, which is fun. Oh, I've been seeing recipes of like using things other than rice for Rice Krispies. Like,
dude,
someone did just crushed Oreos. There's been I've seen a bunch of them.
yeah.
My favorite one's
It's
been
like those cereal bar things, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You could use like farro even, which is like a really healthy whole grain. But if you like pop that shit in the oven, it's like so crunchy. I put it on salads and stuff.
Interesting.
It's really delicious.
Sweet and savory. I like that combination.
Love salty and sweet and in for a treat. That's what I always say.
Trying to think of other stuff that I've tried. I had this one thing that was in my head. I've been getting into like going back to that farm. I've been like less of the farmer's market crowd and more into like making shit from home vibe. Like I tried making my own pickles.
Yeah.
But you got to, if you're going to use a glass jar, you have to get the metal lid, not the plastic one, because air gets out.
I've been wanting to do this thing. I watched Mythical
exploded.
Kitchen.
I was gonna
don't know
say.
if you guys watched Good Mythical Morning or Mythical Kitchen, but
It's been a minute.
Kitchen, I'm a big fan of YouTube stuff. But the cook on there like did this thing where he like sliced cucumbers and he was like put all the ingredients that he wanted in his pickle into one of those like whipped cream canister things.
Yeah.
And he like instant made pickles. It like the pressure infused all of the ingredients into the cucumbers instantly. And
Did he like stick it into the cucumber, or
no, he like put all of it inside of the canister?
Oh, even the cucumber itself.
Cucumber. And he put like all the dill and all the ingredients inside of it, and then he just like
And then just release the air.
released the air, and the pressure like instantly infused the cucumbers into pickles.
A pressure pickler.
Yeah, and he like made pickles in like a minute.
Crazy.
That's fucking cool.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, I really want to try that.
How do you
Yeah.
crack one of those fuckers open? You know, like one of those cans.
They have like Starbucks, like they have like the
like the twist.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
You can, like,
You put the
put a
like
little
side
canister
hydrogen
in there. I
thing,
don't
yeah,
know
on the
what else.
side.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Those are. I've been seeing people play with those so much, like in recent years. I forgot what else they do with it because they're made
Steve-O?
for whipped cream.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Steve-O used to love those things.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for very
Whippets.
different reasons.
I always think of that video whenever I think of those canisters. I think of that video where he's like opening boxes of those canisters.
You whip it, dude.
Not that kind of fun. No, yeah, but I've been seeing like people do whipped butter that
Oh,
way.
yes.
Because it melts faster.
Oh,
Butter's
my God.
delicious.
It's light.
I love, like,
So
aerated
good.
butter.
Oh, my God.
My favorite whipped butter is the apple butter from Lucille's.
Oh yeah, that's good stuff.
You said?
No, I think that we all treat ourselves with food. I think that's a universal thing, right?
Yeah.
I
Food's
think
my
so.
sweet treat.
Yeah.
I treat myself. I'm gonna do that today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I didn't officially give an answer to this prompt though. I buy knickknacks. I have a lightsaber.
Full length or
Shout
tiny?
out. No, yeah, full length lightsaber.
Okay.
Shout out to shit.
Oh god, is a full length lightsaber considered a knickknack? I thought these would be like knickknacks.
That's why I asked if it was full size, because he said little knickknacks, and I'm like, picturing me like, pew.
Well, I also collect knickknacks. I used to collect bottle caps, but then it started getting weird.
Got out of control, I'm sure.
Yeah. I have
Well,
a
I wasn't
huge-
doing anything with them. I just had a shoebox full of bottle
Are you
caps. in there.
fucking these bottle
problem
caps?
right now.
You fucking weirdo.
Here, there's like a bunch of bottle caps, and every time I like go to look for something, I spill them all over the floor.
Well, it used to be a thing where
Yes.
you could get them redeemed. I started as a kid because you could get them redeemed at recycling plants, but they don't do that anymore. So I just had bottle caps, and then I was like, "Well, I'm gonna do something with them and turn them into buttons or turn them." It's so hard to turn them into pins and buttons.
I figure we're about to be at the apocalypse soon, and it'll be currency, right? Bottle caps are like money, and
It's
What's
knocking
that?
on our door for
Far
sure.
Cry?
Yeah.
No, not Far Cry. What's the game? Fallout vibes.
Fallout, yeah. Yeah, we've reached Fallout vibes. So
Cola.
what
everyone,
was I say?
hug your loved ones.
We should move on up to green.
Yeah, I like how this is going.
Green.
We're in agreement.
Agreements.
Greenance.
Boom. All right, let's get into it. So now we're in the. We're a
I
little bit more
love the color
comfortable.
coordination. The Virgo in me
little bit
is
more,
really
yeah.
into that. Also, this is such a great ADHD hack. Of
Oh,
like
yeah.
having all of the
100%.
questions ready, like taking that pressure off.
Well, a little bit back, baseball. This is actually based on a tool that's meant for ADHD people. A lot of prompts. What has been your favorite age or like phase of existence?
Wow.
Oh, you did mean that. I thought you meant like your age. Like how old? Like, I liked when I was 24.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I took
That's
it.
the question.
Oh, okay. So when you
The
finished
gilded
sentence-
age.
Yeah, I thought he was doing like the.
Well, we can
the
answer both
Bronze
those
Age.
questions.
Okay.
I'm a big fan of the Bronze Age.
That's hilarious. I'm gonna start with personal ages. Wow, that's a really good question.
My favorite for that prompt though is the Dark Ages because they were only dark for Europe. Everyone else. That's when brown people invented toilet paper.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Shit.
Super innovative time for the world, but Europe didn't participate, so they took their basketball and went home about it.
Yeah,
turned
ruining
it to-
everything for everyone. That's what colonizers do.
But you were answering the actual prompt.
Okay, yeah.
What were you saying?
I think my favorite age. God, what year? In like 2021, I went through a pretty bad breakup, but it was very necessary and very throughout my life and very much throughout my 20s. I was like a serial monogamist and like just swung from relationship to relationship because it's such a good way to not focus on yourself, it's to focus on other people. So in 2021, I ended this relationship and I was like, I'm done with my own bullshit. I need to focus on myself. And I took a year off of like dating, a little over a year. I was like completely celibate for over a year. And I just like really got to know myself. And like, especially as an adult, because I was 29. Yeah, I was 29 in 2021. So like 2021 to 2022, I feel like I broke the barrier of trying to escape my own or like confront my own like darkness, my own, things that have come up that have like maybe caused me to, have bad habits or commit to bad people or bad things. And I was like, I'm not doing this shit anymore. So it was very liberating and I'm like very proud of myself. And I'm like, I am this person now from giving myself that time to like really know myself and look at every little corner, good, bad, all the stuff,
Nice.
Yeah.
I think my favorite time was probably like 23. Mm-hmm. It's I started doing stand-up at 21, so this is like 3 years in. I'm sort of finding my voice in comedy, but also I'm finding like-minded people where I get to talk about these things that I was always thinking about, like even since middle school. Like, it sounds dumb, and I bring it up a lot, but there's this thing I've always noticed, like in movies and stuff, and it isn't technically a literal thing. Like, I don't think people are outright doing it on purpose, but it is something that I see often in comedy, which I call the magic food pocket. And I just always thought it was a funny thing. And it's like, I think of it as a thing, but I don't think that that's how like writers think about it. It's just a funny moment. It's any moment where food is introduced into the scene randomly without context, and it sort of like elevates the scene and makes it. Like, one of my favorite examples is season 1 of Punisher. I don't know if you've seen the show.
I have not.
It's a very hardcore. But so Punisher is an anti-hero. He's like a former soldier. Now he's a mercenary. He works for this nerd named what's his name? Micro, short for microchip or something.
Okay.
Very nerdy username. But so they're staking out a house that they're trying to track someone down, and it's late, and he's a soldier, so he eats these like protein meals that he just heats up in the microwave, and he eats it, and his friend reaches into his jacket and pulls out a whole sub that he made himself, like a torta.
Oh my God.
And he just starts going to town on it, and it looks like such a funny, and so therein lies the funny moment, is this dude just hammering down protein packets, looks to his left, and he sees his whole sandwich, and he's like, "You didn't get me one of those?" And it's like, and the dude is like, "All of this stuff was in our fridge." And then he just starts, it's stuff like that where like the introduction of the food makes the scene funny.
Absolutely.
And it's a bit that I've done in real life, sometimes on accident, sometimes on purpose. Like, one time I was at a show and we were smoking a bowl. Woo. And someone was passing out cookies, and I took one before I got high, and then I got high, and I was looking for a lighter, and without thinking about it, I found the cookie and forgot about the lighter, and I just started eating the cookie. It's like stuff like that.
Yeah.
But so I think about comedy like that. I've been thinking about it since a kid, like the structure of comedy, the dynamics of comedy, and that, that year was like the biggest point where I found other people who liked talking about those things too. Yeah. So that was fun.
Yeah. You like really found your own voice and your community simultaneously.
Pretty cool.
That's very beautiful.
Oh yeah. Well, I think this is a little bit too personal for Geen. We're actually going to slip right into pink.
Whee!
Let's hurry it along. Personal pink. That's, I guess, what we're calling it. Pink. I haven't thought of a new name for that one. Because the phases have names.
As they should.
Yeah. I don't like this question.
Yeah, get rid of it. No, I'm desperate to know what that question is.
It's too similar.
Okay. Yeah,
we'll cut all this out. It's because it was too similar to the one I asked about the yellow. What's the most difficult thing you've ever done?
Oh my God.
That's the kind of question we want from the pink section. Hell yeah.
Most difficult thing I've ever done. God.
What is that? What do you mean by difficult?
I mean, there's so that you could be. It could be emotional. It could be physical. It could be
based on the
there's a
dynamic
few
of
things.
what these questions are based on. I believe it's that. It's like, what's the most, the biggest struggle you've overcome, or like a moment where you had to just decide for yourself, like, this is where things change, etc., and so forth.
Wow, that's big.
It gets you.
Yeah, it gets me, and I like think about a few things. I mean, is it okay if I say a couple things?
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, going back to that breakup, that was very difficult for me to do because it very much, I was confronting the choices that I continued to make, like in people, in kind of running away from myself through relationships. So like that was difficult, but big time, like payoff at the end. Also, one of the most difficult things I've done, I mean, was emotionally tormenting, was I taught middle school improv as like a camp for 2 weeks. So from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., I was teaching 12 and 13-year-olds improv. Those little fuckers will test you and tear down your self-worth like nobody on this planet.
How many of them did Borat impressions?
None of them, because they didn't know they didn't even know it. They didn't know Borat. They didn't. Yeah. They were little, like, I guess Gen Zers, but they did not. That was not on their radar at all. That was really difficult. I also like.
What did Gen Z joke about? Skibbity toilet? I don't know what that is.
That's even.
It's a weird, like.
Bet, dude.
shit.
Bet.
Yeah, they all talk like they're from Brooklyn.
Bruh. Bet, bruh.
Dude.
Fucking something
That's
else
one
they
of my
say.
favorite things about the like youth of today. It's like New York slang from the '90s is like.
I don't know
so
how
funny.
that's how it goes, because millennials, when we were teenagers, it was a lot of like East LA's slang, but without the accent. Juno, I feel like, is where it started.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. I got a lot of stuff from that.
Bro chacho, that's where that fucking word became.
Home slice.
Home slice.
Oh my God. Yeah, like 2007 to 2010.
My
like
golden era.
Oh my
I
God.
loved that time.
It was a good time. It honestly was. Movies were still good,
Movies
you know?
were great.
Movies were like king then. Yeah. I also last year my abuela passed away and I went home for like the month and change. She was in home hospice and I helped be a caretaker. That was really difficult, but also I'm like so proud of myself and I'm so glad that I did that.
That's a
like
difficult one.
Yeah. So yeah, I would say those are the three things that come to mind.
Yeah.
What about you?
Personally, I don't know. I feel like I haven't personally yet faced a very severe hardship. There's definitely things I've struggled with and overcame. Like my well, I guess in that vein, the thing I could answer right now at this point in my life is overcoming a lot of social anxiety that I had. I had very extreme social, like near, I definitely wouldn't call it like selective mutism, but it was like incredibly difficult for me to function in public without someone to intervene and interpret for me.
Okay.
Which I've said before, I say it all the time. Like even it was the point where like I couldn't order like at a McDonald's. Like I would take my little brother and I would buy for him, but he'd have to order for it.
Yeah.
That's the level it was. And then I started doing stand up, and honestly, like it just became a thing where it is a little exhausting because I will admit, like to some degree, unless I'm genuinely interested, a lot of my interaction is me masking. It's like me knowing the rules of certain. Not that I'm not, I'm trying to learn to care for other people's interests and be more invested in conversation, but I do it that, and it's not meant to be rude or anything, but that does start from a form of like, I'm doing it because it's the rule, but because I want to learn to do it naturally.
Yeah.
We're good.
Yeah. So I guess that's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's so ironic because people are like, well, how did you get over the fear of public speaking before you did stand-up? It's like, stand-up is what got me over, to be honest.
Whoa.
And I think it's because when I first got into it, I immediately like had an idea of what I thought was funny. Mm-hmm. And so like, I definitely, wasn't coming out, talking like Richard Pryor or anything.
That'd be crazy.
That would imagine.
You should try it. You should try it.
I don't remember any of his long-standing bits. I know,
my
like
God.
Richard Pryor for me is the dude from the movies that I watched as a kid.
Right.
So I don't have a lot of his stand-up in my head.
You gotta do his bit about lighting himself on fire.
Oh, that was the first day I was like, well, you gotta light yourself on fire, dude.
But I do, you know, I'd say they tell you that everyone bombs their first time. It's genuinely not a boast. I didn't, you know, I didn't like rock the house, but I didn't bomb. And it's because like I've been thinking about comedy since I was a kid.
Right.
And so, so my stage presence was something that I always was already formulating. And that just leaked into my social life of like learning to do it on stage helped me learn to do it in public.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I relate to that because I did rock the house my first time. You know, sorry, I'm just kidding.
You
No,
motherfucker.
I did great. No. There was something else I wanted to comment on that you were saying, and I just distracted myself with that stupid joke. Dang it.
That's okay.
Way
I
to go,
appreciate
Joshua.
it.
What would
So
we
sorry.
say? Social.
What was the prompt again?
Hardest.
What's the most difficult thing you've ever done?
Oh yeah, dude, I think that's cool because you it's very positive because you like struggle with autism and you were like, I've never faced any hardships really. I was like, oh, that's awesome. That's that's positive as fuck.
Yeah.
Thank
yeah.
you.
And that was
Very humble.
that was like you said you were around 21 when you started. So
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Damn, that's really sick.
Yeah. And I've over the years, I still have, like, I have general anxiety disorder and panic disorder. But to a kind of frustrating degree, I've overcome a lot of that outward. I still experience it, but I manage it.
Yeah.
And I say frustrating because whenever I get a new therapist or psychiatrist or psychologist, I forget which one, the therapist, they always struggle to understand when I say I have OCD because they're like, well, you don't look like you have OCD. I'm like, what do you want me to tear my scare off in front of you? Like, you want me to go back and tell you how many times I counted my footsteps? Like, yeah, because I learned to mask.
That's what I
Yeah.
was gonna say. Someone just the other day was like asking. They wanted to start stand up, and they were like asking like, "How do you get over stage fright? How do you get over the fear?" And I'm like, I did not.
No, yeah, what I tell people is like,
Terrified every time I get on stage.
yeah, I know. What I tell people is like, it doesn't go away. You just learn to hide it.
Yeah, I started saying I'm not comfortable on stage. I'm just comfortable being uncomfortable on stage.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like an acceptance.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like I feel like the more you try to like fight with it, ignore it or suppress it, that's when
makes
it's
it
going to
worse.
take over and like fuck with you. But if you're like I see you. Like I of course, yeah, I'm fucking shaking in my boots right now because I'm about to go do something really vulnerable, and that's okay. Like I feel you. You can feel that way, but also like
Gonna be scary.
yeah, let's
Like,
use that energy to like be a little bit of a maniac or be a little bit of an anxious person on stage, you know?
It's scary because you're being like, I like this thing, I think it's funny, and I'm gonna go say this to a room of strangers, and then when they don't think it's funny, it feels like the worst thing in the world.
Yeah.
But when they laugh,
Oh my God, it's the best
God, it's
feeling
so worth it,
ever.
dude. Yeah.
It's the best feeling.
I feel worse when I do. Like
I
the
know
better,
I do know what you mean.
the
That
better I
happens to me.
do, the more anxious I feel afterward.
Yeah,
I tell
100%.
people like
Really?
That happens to me too.
I have to like tell fans who ask me about it, or you know, or people who've seen my shows, because whenever I'm done on stage, I leave the room. I go outside and I
do the
don't
same
talk to
thing.
anybody. Like I have to be by myself.
I do the same thing. I immediately go, especially if it's like really good and I get like really nervous. Like I'll go straight to the bar and get a shot of tequila.
No,
and then
yeah.
I go straight to my car and listen to metal music. And I'm like, this makes me feel right now. While just intense.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, and it's also like, it's such a wild physical experience to
Yeah.
like be. I mean, I feel this way. I don't know about you guys, but like, I'm like, when I'm on stage and I'm like in it and like crushing, it's like I'm connected to something. Like, like higher self, higher something. Like it feels it feels huge physically, and like the come down takes a long. Like you can't just come off stage and be like, right as rain, I'm the same person. Like it's
No,
like
yeah,
a whole
for
like
sure, no.
I'm like my adrenaline is like
Yeah, just
you know,
running. I was
like
just running.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah, like
Running,
sprinting a marathon. Like it's such a
For sure.
physical and also mental like activity. Yeah.
To me, it felt like I experiment a lot with psychedelics, you know, and
Yeah.
when I first did stand up, like it felt like being on drugs.
Yeah.
It was like very present, and I was like, I'm looking through my eyes right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot of times when I'm talking about stuff, I'm always being reflective or like looking back on things. You know what I mean? But now when I'm on stage, it's right now. It's right now. It's
Yeah.
do it now. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So that's intense for me. It's
Yeah.
scary.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely get more anxious if I like, even if I just like fuck up a joke, like fuck up the
Oh, yeah,
punchline
that's
or like
the worst.
words, like I hyper focus so hard on, and that's kind of just like a thing throughout my whole life is like, I really focus on something bad or something deemed bad that I see bad and
Right.
like self-worth stuff. So that really, I have to be like, dude, it's okay. Like you're going to fuck up sometime. Like you wouldn't treat your friend like this, you know?
Right. Right.
Yeah.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true. I am way harsher to myself than to friends. Some
Definitely.
friends.
This is a great conversation. I love this. But
No.
we're almost out of time.
We are.
So we're going to continue this on the Patreon. Hell yeah.
Sick.
But for you guys, thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining me on this journey. Again, at Lady Erica Dawson on Instagram. Look out for her shows and all that. And I'm trying to think of a good tagline. I almost have. I'm gonna try it. For those of you signing off, nope, I lost it. It's gone. Have a good day.
Toodles.